Hello everyone, welcome to Next.js tutorials. So in this video I would like to show you how we can use getStaticPaths for each of the page we are using right now, because as you know, in the getStaticProps when we use it was fetching all of the data in the build time. What is the build time means when our application has been deployed to somewhere, it fetches and runs all of the code itself to generate all of these pages. So since we have the dynamic data here, we need to change the dynamic paths for getStaticPaths to be able to run all of them into the build time. So as you remember, we have created our ID in the brackets.tsx file here. We need to create and define, say, all of the pages can these, and the Next.js will create all of the pages when it has been built. So let's start, shall we? So here we can say export const and get static paths here, and it will be an async function because we will make the same request as we did for getting the JSON data, and we can say const response await fetch, and the fetch URL was dummy JSON products. And we need to change this data to JSON. Const data equals await response.json. That is also done. Now what we need to do, I forgot to add the equal sign here, and what we need to do is we need to get the products, and from this products we can map through them and define all of their paths. So let's call it here as well, and the const products equals data.products, and we need to create all of the paths with the mapping function const paths equals products dot map, and we will define product inside, and we will return here. We need to say params, and we need to specify ID here, and this is the product product ID. Alright, it has the product has any type, but we have already defined that product type here. If we export this product type, we can directly use it here as well as like this. And what we need to return in the getStaticPaths, we need to return the paths and fallback. Currently we will not use any fallback page, so that will be enough for us to generate all of these static paths for us. So let me briefly explain what we did so far again. So here we defined our getStaticPaths to be able to create all of these files into the build time of product description page, because as you know, all of these data is a dynamic. But we need to fix here, we need to add to string, because as you remember, the product IDs was numbers, and we need to make them to string to be able to pass into the paths directly. And yeah, we defined our product description page, we add our ID here, and afterwards we have created getStaticPaths to be able to fetch all of these data and return the parameters with the ID, and it says our product ID to string. So afterwards, let me remove this one so far, and we can also have a look at the paths we are returning. As it includes all of the parameters with ID for all of the products data we will use in our dynamic page. And what we will do next, we will generate a new function for our getStaticProps, and we will fetch these data one by one regarding to that ID we will get after the getStaticPaths. But I am planning to do that in the next video. It is getting a bit more longer than I expect right now. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and don't forget to like the video. I wish you have a nice day, and goodbye.